Where is Joshlin Smith? A year later, and a 6-year-old has still not been found. The long-awaited trial into her mysterious disappearance got underway on Monday and will continue until the end of the month at least. Joshlin's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Jacqueline Apollos, and their friend, Stephen van Rijn, are facing human trafficking and kidnapping charges. While all three continue to maintain their innocence, detectives on the stand made several startling revelations about Joshlin's mother. The state believes that the trio sold, delivered, or even exchanged Joshlin for money and says it has a strong case with over 90 witnesses expected to testify. However, Apollos and Van Rijn accusing officers of police brutality. That might actually be a spanner in the works. Here's a wrap of this week's proceedings.
Family, friends and Middle Post community members packed the Western Cape High Court sitting in Saldanha Bay to finally get justice for 6-year-old Joshlin Smith. On Monday, the trial against the child's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Jacqueline Apollos, and their friend, Stefano van Rijn, got underway. They are facing human trafficking and kidnapping charges in relation to Joshlin's mysterious disappearance. Joshlin's father is optimistic that his daughter is still out there somewhere. Kelly cut a somber figure in the dock, taking notes as the first witness took the stand. Constable Yanga Gongota recounted his interaction with Kelly on the night Joshlin disappeared. He told the court that hours after the grade 1 pupil's disappearance, her mother never shed a tear.
What one can say that some of the things that came out was they met with Joshlin, with Kelly, and she reported the child, that the child has disappeared. Kelly didn't look very worried about didn't look like someone who's lost a child. She was more concerned about the whereabouts of her boyfriend. When they found the boyfriend in some other shed where they were smoking, she looked very relieved that she's found her. And the other thing, the first thing she asked was whether he had filled the gas canister. And the last thing, one of the last things he said in his testimony is that Kelly, all the time he was talking to Kelly and asking about the child, Kelly never cried.
At the time of her disappearance, Joshlin was left in the care of her mother's boyfriend. On day 2, the next witness, Constable Luzuko Kobese, spoke about the drug dealings of the accused.
uRensia uba makayojonga omnye wabantwana bakhe abaoleleyo endlini yakhe. Emveni koko uthe ke umntana umgqibele ngoko nangona ebengasakhumbuli ke ixesha uba yayingubani.
Both Kobese and Constable Yanga Gongota, who responded to the scene, noted concerning behavior displayed by Jacqueline and Kelly as they pieced together the timeline of events.
Wayebonakala njengomntu ophantsi koxinzelelo engasafuni kwanto idibenisele nemibuzo yamapolisa emana kuthatha istep ukuya ngasemva nangaphambili ejikelezana naye. Wabonisa ukudineka imibuzo esimbuza yona singamapolisa. Elekuba simbuza umbuzo ofuna kaba simombile sizame ngandlela zonke into ba makaphendule lento siyifunayo.
Kelly admitted that she kept Joshlin and her older brother away from school due to dirty uniforms and dropped her youngest child at creche before going to work as a domestic worker. But the day soon took a dark turn. Kelly's legal counsel recounts his client's statement.
Just after 12 o'clock midday, I borrowed 50 rand from Colin, which I had used to buy drugs. I went to my home and smoked the drugs with accused one. I noticed that both the children were still at home at that time. After smoking, I then proceeded back to work, which was at approximately 1 o'clock. Just before 5 o'clock, I borrowed another 200 rand from Colin and proceeded to my home. When I got home, accused number 1 and accused number 2 were present. I then inquired from the neighbor, Makuti, if she had seen Joshlin, and she said that the kids went to play at the park. I then suggested to accused 1 that we should go to the shop in order to purchase gas before it closes. On our way back home, after buying the gas, we bought another bag of drugs, which we smoked immediately upon our arrival at home. We first proceeded to Kelly's house and thereafter to Tasa's house, but did not find her there. It was at this stage that I had become hysterical and others joined in to assist in the search for her. Although I am not certain of the time, but I think it was just after 9 o'clock that the South African Police Services were contacted.
The mother's boyfriend, who was looking after the 2 children that day, claimed that he didn't notice Joshlin was missing until much later that evening.
Later, Kelly arrived there with police officers carrying torches. It is then that Kelly told me that Joshlin is gone and they can't find her.
In an added twist, Apollos and Van Ryn accuse officers of police brutality on the night they were interrogated.
I was asked, where is Joshlin and what have I done with her? I was assaulted while lying flat with my stomach. After some time of assault, I was taken out from the back of the buggy closer to the bush. They pinched my testicles, opened my mouth and forced a gun inside my mouth, promising to kill me and bury me inside the sand, and all throw me in the ocean. At all material times that I was never told I was under arrest. I was never informed of my rights.
The next day, High Court officials and the accused arrived in the in-loco inspection. They were met by an angry crowd of Middle Post residents who demanded that Kelly tell the truth. It's been a year since Kelly, her boyfriend Jacqueline Apollos, and their friend Stefano Van Ryn returned to the Middle Post informal settlement.
The judge and the parties decided that there must be an inspection local to see where the incident, where the family stayed, and where the child disappeared and which areas. There are several, I think about 2 or 3 areas which will be visited just to trace on what happened on the day.
As court officials, police and the accused made their way through the settlement, the frustration of residents grew. At the heart of the controversy is Kelly, Joshlin's mother.
We just want the mother in Kelly to wake up. We need the mother in Kelly to wake up. Her child is looking for her. Her child is calling for her. Her child is missing. Here, where's the mother? Where's the mother in you? That you can't wake up and say, here, my child is looking for me. Why can't you say my child is looking for me? Your child is shouting, screaming. Where's my mommy? You know the heartbroken thing is that child is looking for no one, not for one of us who's supporting this case. That child, where she is looking for that woman called Kelly. Who's the mother? What is it what the child calls first? When he's in trouble, ma'am, he calls to his mother.
What worried me is when she said in her own words, my child Joshlin has made me famous.
Despite the mounting scrutiny, Kelly insisted that her child had mysteriously disappeared. However, with the safety of the accused in mind, police offered her accommodation.
She didn't like that accommodation because that accommodation was only going to accommodate her and it wasn't going to accommodate the boyfriend as well because the accommodation was only for females. And as she insisted that she cannot go to that place without her boyfriend.
Did she at any stage ask for the accommodation to also be for the children?
No, my lord, there wasn't any request for accommodation for the children.
Kelly's statements to police have raised doubt. For weeks following her disappearance, officials have pulled extensive air land and sea resources to search for the missing girl.
The contingency of detectives included general detectives from all 151 stations that are in the Western Cape. In total personnel on that day, including everybody, it was 380. Up to thus far, we haven't received information or we haven't found the child.
The intense scrutiny of the behavior of Joshlin's mother continued on Friday. According to Detective Sergeant Mia Milstein of the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit, who was investigating the missing person, Kelly did not cry. This was a point of concern for officers, but the defense argues that Kelly's behavior can be explained.
She was advised by family members that she needs to stay calm and compose herself so that she could give information to the police who could assist in finding the child. Accused number 3 was and still is devastated by the disappearance of the child. I'm also instructed that at the time of your interview, accused number 3 was already on medication and she was taking antidepressants for after Joshlin, her child, had gone missing.
I'm unaware of antidepressants, my lord, but she was also on regular doses of methamphetamine.
The first detective investigating the disappearance of the little girl said Kelly and Jacqueline kept changing basic information. The detective told the court that her boyfriend failed to mention that his friend, Stefano van Rijn, was at the house the day Joshlin disappeared.
The following day, you should be able to recollect who was all at your house. It was a straightforward question. It wasn't a trick question, and it had no intention of linking him to any crime. It was clear that there weren't, none of these persons of interest were being completely honest. There were inconsistencies in their story. I had difficulty establishing the basic information as it kept on being changed. I did not have any evidence at that stage to detain any of them, so I excused them from the interview.
The investigation into Joshlin's disappearance has been riddled with false sightings and dead ends. However, the National Prosecuting Authority is confident that it has a strong case against the 3 accused, with about 90 state witnesses.
In most cases, you'll find that there's a huge list of witnesses. That list, in some instances, gets cast down because you'll find that most of the witnesses will be saying the same thing, will be testifying the same thing, and some of them may not be adding that much value to your case. So as you go along, you shred and cut down on the numbers.
The 3 accused are back in court on Monday. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Nasiphi in Saldanha Bay.